Well, it's Friday again already. Today is June the 5th, 2020. You know, there are some Christians who don't believe the stories that in the Old Testament were actually true, but were fables or allegories or just stories that have been made up. But there's a way that we can check those out and see if they were true or not. And that is by Jesus' words. If you're going to be a Christian, then you ought to believe Jesus. So here we go. Some people don't believe that the book of Genesis and the first 5 books of the Bible were written by Moses. So what did Jesus say? In John 5:46 and 47, Jesus said, "For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words?" So that kind of settles it. Jesus said that Moses wrote those words. Then how about Adam and Eve? A lot of people say that Adam and Eve really were not real people, that the human race did not start from just 2 people. But here's what Jesus said in Matthew 19:4. He says, "Have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?" So Jesus verifies that Adam and Eve were real people. And here's a good one. A lot of people don't believe in the flood. Well, what did Jesus say about that? He said in Matthew chapter 24, verses 37 and 38, "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." So Jesus just verified 2 things. Number 1, he verified Noah, that Noah was real. And number 2, he verified that the flood was real. Well, how about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Were they really real people or just stories? Jesus said in Matthew 8:11, "And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west and shall sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven." So Jesus verified that those were real people and the stories were true. Well, here's a good one. How about Lot, Abraham's nephew? Jesus said in Luke 17:28, "Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded." So he says that Lot was in fact a real person. How about Sodom and Gomorrah that fire and brimstone rained on? What did Jesus say about that? He said in Luke 17, verse 29, he said, "But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all." So Jesus said that the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was real, that it actually happened. Well, how about Lot's wife that looked back and was turned into a pillar of salt? That certainly can't be true. But Jesus simply said in Luke 17:32, "Remember Lot's wife." All right, how about the burning bush where Moses went out and saw a bush that burned but didn't burn up? Jesus said in Mark 12:26, "And as touching the dead, that they rise, have you not read in the book of Moses?" There's that book of Moses again. "How in the bush God spoke unto him, saying, I'm the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob." So Jesus verified the fact that there was a burning bush experience. Then how about the experience of the children of Israel when they sinned and God sent poisonous snakes among them? And God commanded Moses to make a brass snake and put up in the middle of the camp, and anyone looked on it would live. Could that be a true story? Well, Jesus said in John 3:14, "And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up." And so there it is. Well, we could go on. He verifies, and I'll not read these now, we're running out of time. He verified King David. He verified that David wrote some of the Psalms. He verified the Queen of Sheba, that she was real, and that Solomon and all his glory was real. He verified, oh, here's a good one, Jonah and the whale. Jesus said in Matthew 12:40 and 41, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The men of Nineveh shall rise up in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonah. And behold, a greater than Jonah is here. So he says the story of Jonah is real. Well, what I want you to see is Jesus had the very same books, the Old Testament, our Old Testament. He had the same books that we have today, identical. Yet he did not say one time that they were not correct or that something was wrong or it was not right. Always, he verified what was written to be true. Well, that's all for today. I will see you in the morning.